Dan Cooper, we're going to continue our discussion of eternity. And I'd like you to show you facsimile number 2. Okay, that's facsimile number 2. Isn't it interesting? If you look at that, you'll think, oh, that's a canning lid, because it has the ring around it and it has the center. Well, guess what? What happens in a canning lid is that the product is preserved after it goes through heat and pressure. Brothers and sisters, once we go through sufficient heat and pressure, like Abraham on the altar, like Joseph Smith almost feeling like he's being destroyed, like Stephen being destroyed, but the heavens open to him and Father and Jesus welcome him. Yes, after we go through that, we will have great views of things to come. And word expedient, we could prophesize all things. Okay, so this is a symbol of it. And remember, it's one eternal round. It is whole, W-H-O-L-E, complete, nothing lacking, the beginning of days or end of the years. Now, when you read it, you will understand, and I want to read this to you, that in Kolob, I put my glasses on, it signifies first creation, it's nearest to celestial, it's first in government, last in the measurement of time. The measurement according to celestial time signifies 1 day to a cubit. 1 day in Kolob is equal to 1,000 years. Okay? Therefore, eternity in this system indicates a creation project involving orbs and clusters and events. But it's 1 day to a cubit. See, I never correlated eternity to space. I always equated eternity to time. But when you think about it, time doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists in space. Okay? And when it exists in space, what we have to understand, I think, is that this space has a height and a depth and a width. It has some sort of dimension here, as we can see here reflected in this eternity. So it has space in eternity. Now, Einstein says, and I think he's right, is that both time and light bend. It bends. And when it does bend, it creates an eternal round. Hence, facsimile number 2, one eternal round. All right. Now, what also we learn in Dr. Conan's 38:12, all eternity is pained. And Moses 7:41 says, all eternity shook. This eternity is starting to take on a life of its own, you might say. So eternity is time, space. It has feelings because it's pained, and it's shook. We know that the light of Christ permeates all. I need some information here, folks. It's almost as though eternity's a projection of God. So what God feels, eternity feels. I need some help on this. All right. So that's eternity. And those are some things we know about eternity. It's filled with light, which gives life, law to all things, and understanding. It originates with God. God and Enoch wept, and all eternity shook. This is another interesting. His pain filled the earth so that many kings exclaimed, the God of nature suffers. The scriptures refer to the riches of eternity. If eternity can be considered a characteristic for Christ, without beginning of days or end years, for by him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, dominions, principalities, or powers. All things were created by him and for him. He is before all things. By him all things consist. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. So these riches of eternity, whatever they are bestowed upon us equally and undivided. See, God has all fullness. And when we get resurrected and exalted, glorified, then we will have all fullness as well. But listen, DC 43:34, it sweetens our thoughts on eternity. Let the solemnities of eternity rest upon your mind. Solemnities, dictionary, a rite or ceremony annually performed with religious reverence. Wow. What is performed with religious reverence? Creation of earths, creation of man. It's a religious ceremony adapted to impress awe. Wow. Okay. Is it the temple endowment? Is temple marriage and sealings? Is world creation a ceremony? I would kind of think it is. Creation of a world being a ceremony. The ceremony to divide light from darkness, place seeds, or install animal life. Okay, what about the rite or ceremony to ordain Jesus as the Christ? What about his sacrifice and his atonement in Gethsemane and on Calvary? His resurrection, solemnities of eternity. What about conferences? We had a conference in the pre-mortal existence. We have conferences all the time. Washing of the feet, the second anointment. What are the solemnities of eternity? Resurrection is obviously as a religious ceremony. It does inspire awe. What about the birthing of tens of thousands of spirit children? I don't know how many children will be born at once. I do know that all the sperm will go into the woman, and as many eggs as she has, and she'll birth them 1,000, 5,000 at a time. I don't know. But that'd be a birthday party, wouldn't it? Ceremonies, solemnity, ceremonies to impress awe. The second coming of Christ will be impressive. Is that a solemnity of eternity? Or the celestializing of our earth. This is marvelous marvelous stuff. Marvelous. Stay tuned. Joseph Smith says, when a man is proven, then he receives. Okay. The last comforter, he will have the personage of Jesus Christ attend him, appear to him from time to time, even will manifest the Father unto him. They will take up their abode with him, and the visions of the heavens will be opened to him. The visions of the heavens will be opened to us. We will see it. We can move Judgment Day up here and now. Okay? So that the formal Judgment Day is almost solemnity of eternity, stamp of approval. You've already passed, bud. Okay. So if facsimile number 1 reveals Abraham's character and honor, then facsimile number 2 shows his reward. The visions of heaven open to him. The Lord will teach him face to face to receive a perfect knowledge of the mysteries of the kingdom of God. He'll have the personage of Jesus attend to him, appearing to him from time to time. The Bible records, I think, 7 instances where God appeared to Abraham. This creates a wholeness in our being, WHOLENESS. And by having this wholeness, we will eventually become holy. So there you have it. Now, I wish you could see this as a light. When I was in the temple today, I saw the chandelier in the celestial room, and it impressed upon me that that is a symbol of Abraham facsimile number 2. This was in the Red Cliffs Temple. And about every temple I've ever been in, there's a huge, beautiful chandelier in the celestial room. Now, the printer didn't do it well, but this is the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania Temple celestial room. And in it, I've tried to highlight the chandelier in the celestial room. Okay? So similar to facsimile 2. This is, I think this is Mesa. All right? Once again, it's a huge, beautiful chandelier in the middle of the celestial room, symbolizing all the mysteries of eternity, all the knowledge of eternity that's available to us, that God will give us, that he provides for us. It's his good pleasure to do these things for us. He wants to. Well, what's the problem, Coop? I'm the problem. Natural man. We've got to consecrate ourselves, keep the commandments. We have to do his will. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good day. If I can find the right one and